Good morning. My name's Tony. How are you today? Good. Can you guys hear me? Good. All right. Today's talk is going to be the art of dreaming. It is kind of an art, and I'm going to share you a lot of my experience about dreaming today. Today's talk is about dreaming and why it's important to know why you're dreaming and know what your dreams mean. How many of you in here dream? Okay. How many of you remember your dreams? Okay, that's a pretty good number. Well, everyone dreams even if you don't remember them. What are dreams? Well, there are different interpretations for this question, but I believe dreams are a series of images, thoughts, emotions, and sensations that occur in the mind during sleep. They are a universal human experience, and most people dream about 3 to 5 times per night, believe it or not. I have been in dream analysis for a long time, and early in my life I became very interested in life after death. My mom and I would have discussions about this, and still today I have this interest. As I got older, I also began to have dreams so vivid in color and very detailed that I look forward to going to sleep and having these dreams. Then the interest of interpreting these dreams became very important to me, so my wife, Maureen, then booked me a long time ago in a dream interpretation class, which I believe was like 3 days in length. It was like every Saturday for 3 weeks. And I learned a lot during that. I started getting books on interpreting dreams, such as The Art of Spiritual Dreaming, which is this book right here. It's a phenomenal book. You can get it at a decent price. The Art of Spiritual Dreaming and the Encyclopedia of Dream Interpretation, which was this one here. I also began using the internet to look up the meanings of my dreams if I couldn't figure it out. One website I use is dreammoods.com. Has anybody heard of that? Dreammoods.com? To look up certain dreams of my dreams. Details of my dreams, I'm sorry. This is an amazing site, and it mirrors the books I have. My other go-to would be Reverend Lydia. She also tries to put my dreams into perspective with meaning if I can't do it. How many of your dreams are in vivid color or black and white? Does anybody dream in vivid color? Does anybody here dream in black and white? Okay. So I'll kind of talk about the black and white. So dreams can be vivid and realistic, or they can be hazy and confusing. They can also be pleasant or unpleasant, and they can be about pretty much anything. Now, if you're dreaming in vivid colors, here's what I recently found that I never knew. Vivid colors in dreams often reflect intensified emotions or qualities. This is an overview of common color meanings that I found in a chart from dreamsightful.com. If your vivid dreams in vivid color are a lot of red, it means energy, passion, aggression, and intensity. If you're dreaming in orange, and there's a lot of orange in your vivid dream, it means joy, creativity, socialness. If you're dreaming in yellow, it means happiness, hope, positivity, nature, growth, and balance. If you're dreaming in green, obviously it's going to mean healing, calmness, and relaxation. If you're dreaming in blue, it means sensitivity, spirituality, imagination. And if you're dreaming in purple, it means wisdom. Looking at these colors that stand out in a dream provides clues into the emotions and issues being expressed by our subconscious mind. For me, most of my vivid dreams happen when I dream of my loved ones who have passed. How many of you have dreamed of your loved ones that have passed? Okay. I have had many dreams of my loved ones who are deceased. I have had dreams of my dad and mom, my brothers Mike and John, of dreams of Justina, and others I don't recognize who I believe are relatives I never met. There was one powerful dream I had with my brother Mike, who passed away 40 years ago. When I was about 20 years old, my brother Mike and I were in our basement. We lived in Chicago. It was a place we hung out when it rained or when it was wintertime. One time we talked about extensively about life and death. Then we decided to make a promise that whoever died first would come back and tell the other how it was in heaven. Back in those days, we did the old, remember the pinky swear? We'd go like that. That's kind of what we did. Well, 3 years after we made this promise, and 2 days before my brother Mike's 30th birthday, he had a heart attack and he died. My brother was born with a hole in his heart, and the doctors only gave him the 17 years old to live, so he lived longer than expected. Well, going back to our pinky swear promise, about 6 months later, my brother Mike came to me in a dream. This is pretty much how the dream went. In my dream, Mike woke me up, and I was so excited to see him. He said, "Come on, let's take a walk." We walked down the stairs of our house, opened the door, walked out on the front porch, and the colors outside were so amazing and vivid. The sky was vividly blue, like nothing like you see today. The houses and cars on the block were even detailed in vivid colors. The sun was coming up from the east, just above the house, across the street, and it was like so awesome looking. The sun was vivid, so vivid yellow. It was amazing. Then, when that sun came up, being amazing, I noticed that the birds were singing loudly and flying in what appeared to be slow motion. Mike and I walked down the steps and began to walk down the street. And I said to Mike, "I can't believe you came back to tell me how it is in heaven." My brother Mike told me, "We made a promise to come back to tell each other how it is in heaven, so I'm keeping my promise." Mike told me first he had to get permission to come back to talk to me, so he only had a short time because he needed to get back. And he was pretty serious about that. Mike said heaven is amazing. It is so beautiful that words can't describe it. What you're seeing and feeling here right now is part of heaven. There was no more sickness. He said pain is totally gone, and the love is so amazing. I told my brother Mike I wanted to go with him back to heaven. He told me I can't. It's not my time, and he told me I have to walk you back home now because I have to go. I pleaded with him to let me come with him, and he said, "You can't, but when it's my time to go, he would be the first one I would see to come for me." He said, "Go back upstairs. I have to go now." We hugged. I remember walking back up the stairs with all this joy, waving to him, and going back towards the bedroom. I then sat, still in my dream, I sat on the edge of the bed with my feet still on the floor, and I woke up at that moment with my feet on the floor, sitting on my bed. I cried with tears of joy, and it was an emotional feeling that really can't be described. You have to experience and know what I'm talking about. Has anybody had anything like that? Well, okay. I hope you do, and I'm going to give you an exercise later how you can do that. Recently, knowing I was going to do a talk on dreaming, I spoke out to my brother Mike again, and I talk to him all the time. I asked Mike to come to me in a dream again because I haven't seen him in a dream for quite a while. Well, 1 week later, I had a dream again with my brother Mike. I was walking in a building, and it had a pearl white water slide that was shaped in it was shaped like a heart. It was so vividly white, and it was like a pearl white. I was walking, and where the water comes down together, I see a young girl about 12 or 13 years old in the water at the bottom, and she was saying, "Wee, this is fun," splashing the water up and down. I had no clue who she was, but she smiled at me in a vivid way. I mean, it was amazing. As I walked by looking at her, she smiled again at me, and I continued walking because I see two wooden doors. I opened the doors to go into another room, and as I walk in, I hear a voice say, Dad, look who's here." I looked to my right because the voice was my daughter Taylor, who is still alive today. As I looked, Taylor is standing next to my brother Mike, pointing at him just like this. And he opens his arms towards me, and I run over again with joy, and I gave him the biggest hug. I was really amazed that he had on the tan corduroy suit of mine that he was buried in. In his dream, my brother only smiled and hugged me, and I was crying in my dream. I woke up and I had tears on my face. I know my brother is around me and hears me just as your deceased loved ones can hear you. So don't be afraid to ask them to come to you in the dreams, because they will. Now for me, when my dreams are in black and white, they are usually dreams of where people or animals are attacking me, or I am in a stressful situation. So here's one example of a dream I used to have occasionally, but haven't had any more since I retired from the police department. I started having dreams of a Great Dane dog attacking me while walking down the street. I would run as fast as I could to get away from this dog, but every time I would jump up on a car, it would bite me in the leg. I would wake up after that being bitten. I would have cramps in one of my legs. I never had these kind of dreams until one day after me and one of my coworkers had to force entry into an apartment at 3 in the morning to save a young lady who was being attacked by her boyfriend. Upon entering, we were attacked by 3 very ferocious pit bulls who didn't want us coming in. This was a very stressful event that happened in my career. Now they say that younger people don't really dream in black and white anymore because they are growing up with color TV. But people over the age of 60, and I did look at the hands that came up. Everybody's in a little bit of higher age. Okay, I'm not going to say how old. Okay. Occasionally, we grew up watching black and white TV, but today most people dream in color because our world is very colorful. So some of the books and websites on dreams I would recommend are The Art of Spiritual Dreaming. Like I said, this is the book. You can go online and get that. You can even get it used. The other book would be, and that book is by Harold Clem, The Encyclopedia of Dream Interpretation by Elaine Goldberg, published in 2003 on the internet, and you can also go to dreammoods.com. Just to tell you a little bit about these books I used, starting with the Encyclopedia of Dream Interpretation. It took the author about 6 years to write this book due to extensive research on dreams. I like this book because it details what your dream is about. For an example, if you see a mouse in your dream, there's a meaning for that. If you see a mouse running around in your dream, there's a meaning for that. If you see a mouse in your dream and it's caught in a trap, there's another meaning for that. And if it was caught by a cat or a dog, there's another meaning for those purposes. The book, The Art of Spiritual Dreaming, is one of my favorites. I've had this book for quite a few years, probably about 18 years. This book views dreams as a divine origin, and they are a portal to spiritual worlds, and they bear messages from heaven and prophetic insights. I would like to share a spiritual exercise with you if you want to start remembering your dreams. I started doing this about 18 years ago, and this actually works. I have made copies. I hope we make copies of this. If not, you can always reach out to me and I can send it to you. I made copies for you to take home. If they're in the back, that would be great. If not, reach out to me. And it's good for you to try this, and I think you really enjoy the exercise. This exercise is for people who don't think they dream or who don't remember their dreams. So just before you go to sleep, sit quietly on your bed, close your eyes, and begin to chant the word HU, H-U. Very softly, or if someone else is in the room with you, chant it silently to yourself. HU is a special word, the ancient name for God. You could call it the manifested word or the sound. It has power all of its own. As you take the time to sit there and chant HU, the name of God, you are making a commitment with the divine spirit. Now chant HU in a long, drawn-out way for 3, 4, or 5 minutes and let yourself settle down. Kind of like when we say Om. Okay? Then wait for a few minutes before starting the next step. For those who have been unable to remember their dreams, simply chant the word dream, D-R-E-A-M, spelled out. Chant it out loud, letter by letter, and do this for 5 minutes. Next, chant the same thing quietly for a few minutes, and then just go to sleep. But as you are falling asleep, I would like you to remember a significant spiritual dream is what you want to say. With this method, you are asking for truth to come through the dream state. This actually works, as I originally had a dream of being on a square table with vivid white healing light flowing from below me upward into my backside and downward onto my front side, as a person wearing all white stood by my side. There are so many different exercises in this book to help you with problems in your life, and you can help getting answers to and maybe looking for what you're looking for. I highly recommend this book if you want to dream about helping yourself or someone else. This book has helped me many times. I also use dreammoods.com, as I talked about earlier, to look up dreams also. This is great to use on your phone or on a computer or a tablet. Now I'm going to give you 5 different ways to remember your dreams and in 5 steps. Do your best to steady a sleep schedule. Since the majority of dreaming occurs during REM, which is rapid eye movement, sleep periods, it's best to enjoy long and steady sleep schedules that ensure you're getting enough sleep. Try to wake up consistently each morning to keep your REM periods as stable as possible to avoid disturbing your dream time. Avoid alcohol. This would be the second step. Avoid alcohol and drugs before bed. Since this serves as depressant of your nervous system, people often turn to a drink or a slew of medications or recreational drugs to help them become relaxed or fall asleep. But consuming these items in excess has been linked to bad sleep quality, as well as insomnia according to some experts. And thus, it can greatly interrupt your ability to dream. Try other natural sleep aids. Third thing you could do in the morning is don't jump out of bed. Don't reach for your phone right away or to turn off any alarms without looking at these devices. You want to bathe in your reflections about what you are dreaming about. And a distraction from a device such as a radio alarm clock will often suck you in while pushing any fuzzy memories right out. Number 4, tell your partner about it. If you share a bed, tell the person next to you about your dream and recount as many details as you can. Doing so can be a great way to keep yourself thinking actively about the dream that's woken you up or about a dream that you have had during the night. And the last thing you can do is write it all down, which is one of the things that I do. Get prepared by having a dream log or placing a pad of paper and pen near your nightstand. Take some time to write details down after you've stewed on the dream in question while lying in bed. It doesn't have to be a detailed description. It could be action words such as fire, running, shooting a gun, dancing, and so on. Then look up these action words in your dream dictionary or on the internet, that dream sites that you use. In closing, you should try and pay attention to our dreams because you're usually dreaming about something that may be important in your life now or something in the future that's coming to you. With that, I thank you.